हरे
Hare Krishna, Prathamesh Prabhu. Good to see you.
हरे कृष्णा
No problem, Prabhu.
गुड टू सी यू प्रभु एक्चुअली मैं मिस कर रहा हूँ लेक्चर
Okay, Prathamesh Prabhu is traveling to attend a family function, and he's saying that he's missing you all. So we have to believe him because he's a Vaishnava. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, so the last session we had discussed till verse number 35, correct? So I hope you would have read the purport by yourself. Are there any questions, any points you want to make before we start on the next verse? Okay, so let's start on the next one. So please repeat after me. पापमेवाश्रयेतस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् स बान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Somebody wants to try? One from Prabhuji's, one from Mataji's. Yes, Rahul Prabhu. पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् स बान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Wow, he's a Sanskrit Pandit. Yes, Mataji's. पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् स बान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Okay, somebody wants to read translation? Shekhar Prabhu, please read the translation.
Sin will overcome us if we slay such operations. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the son of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain? O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen?
How could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So, welcome all of you once again in our Bhagavad Gita weekly discussion. Last we met was on Gita Jayanti, है ना? मोक्षा एकादशी पे हम मिले थे. The last verses हमने वहाँ पे discuss किए थे. So, little bit of recap. What are we discussing here right now? First chapter में 36 verse में Arjuna's crying, and his crying is also categorical. So he cries in categories, right? Vishnu, can you just push the door? Don't lock it. Just push it. Somebody there? Okay. Take it, then we'll get it. Just that, love thy neighbor. So that they love us back. So Arjuna is giving his reasons not to fight the war, है ना? कृष्ण को अपने कारण बता रहे हैं, बहुत ही अच्छे कारण हैं, शास्त्रीय कारण हैं. What was the first reason Arjuna gave? हाँ, so Arjuna is not thinking it is misplaced. अर्जुन के हिसाब से वो करुणा ही है, compassion, right? So couple of verses were there on compassion. Then and 32-35 Arjuna talks about lack of enjoyment, कि enjoyment कहाँ है इस war को win करने के बाद भी, है ना? That's the second reason he gave. न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि, है ना? We had discussed about the shreyas and preyas. Okay. हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे. Then now 36 verse onwards, this is the third reason Arjuna gives to Krishna why the fight should not happen, the war should not happen, है ना? So what is that reason? पापम एवाश्रये अस्मान, कि यदि हम ये करेंगे, if we kill others, then it is a sinful act. पाप है ना, दूसरों को मारने में हत्या का पाप लगता है, right? So he is fearful of committing sin by killing. So point to note is, what is a sin? जनरल भाषा में कुछ गलत कार्य करना, पापमय कार्य करना, किसको बोलेंगे हम? जिससे किसी की हानि हो, हाँ, धर्म के अगेंस्ट हो, प्रथम श्लोक इज आल्सो सेइंग शास्त्र के अगेंस्ट हो, शास्त्र के विरुद्ध यदि कोई काम करेंगे तो वो पाप है. सिंपल है ना, सिंपल डेफिनेशन है, राइट? If we talk about the law of the land, right, the state law, what is a crime, what is not a crime? That which goes against the constitution is a crime. Simple, right? Now, as per the state law, killing animals is not a crime, because that's the law of the state. Now, state allows you kill cows, you kill chickens, and you eat them. There is no sin involved, so it's the law of the state हो गया. But there is a higher law, which is the law of the scriptures, law of God, है ना? तो स्टेट का लॉ सही है, संविधान है वो सही है, गलत नहीं है, परंतु उसके सही होने का एक लिमिटेशन है, एक देश काल पात्र में ही वो सही है ना? इट इज नॉट द एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ. तो 18 साल की आयु में विवाह, उससे पहले विवाह नहीं होना चाहिए. People should not, adult, after 18 you become adult, so after that marriage is okay, but you get, if we marry our kids before 18, then it's a crime, then you go to jail, right? So देश काल पात्र के अनुसार वो संविधान में बदलाव भी आ सकता है. पहले 18 साल था, अभी 21 साल हो गया है शायद लड़कियों का भी, राइट? ऐसा कुछ हुआ है क्या अभी रिसेंटली? द एज हैज इंक्रीज्ड, मैरिजेबल एज. सो उसमें बदलाव होता है संविधान के रूल्स में, रेगुलेशंस में, बट स्क्रिप्चर्स में कभी बदलाव नहीं होता, है ना? स्क्रिप्चर्स तभी भी बोलते थे काउ डंग इज प्योर, व्हेन साइंस वाज नॉट इवन देयर, एंड इवन टुडे इट सेज साइंस, द काउ डंग इज प्योर. ऑल्दो ब्रिटिशर्स एंड दिस मॉडर्न साइंटिस्ट, उन्होंने बहुत प्रोपेगेंडा किया कि नहीं, इट इज एनिमल स्टूल एंड इट इज जस्ट लाइक एनी अदर स्टूल. Now they have also accepted, cow urine, cow dung, they have good antiseptic qualities and so on, है ना? तो जो law of God है उसमें कभी बदलाव नहीं होता, that stays. That's why it is called the absolute truth, right? So the law of the state is relative truth, the law of God is absolute truth, param satya. Okay, so to avoid crimes, citizens should know what law is. Now it's very funny, भारत में कभी भी हमको लॉ पढ़ाया नहीं जाता, राइट? बचपन से लेके बड़े होने तक कभी भी कोई हमको लॉ पढ़ाता नहीं है, बट गवर्नमेंट assumes that you know the law. My maternal uncle, मेरे मामा जी, he's a lawyer. So he said that, and he only said this to me, and then I realized it, कि क्या करना है क्या गलत है. So let's say so it was a monetary transaction and I had given, हम 4 धाम यात्रा गए थे, तो हमने एक एजेंसी को जो हेलीकॉप्टर अरेंज करने वाली थी हमारे लिए केदारनाथ दर्शन के लिए, उन्होंने हमने उनको चेक्स दिए थे, एवरी फैमिली व्हाटएवर खर्चा होने वाला है हेलीकॉप्टर का 7,000 पर पर्सन ऐसा कुछ, तो ऐसा वी हैड गिवन चेक्स टू देम, एंड देन helicopter did not fly because the weather was bad, so we went on ourselves, by ourselves, and then he said that yes, I will refund, and that I mean clause was there in our agreement that he will refund the money. So he refunded the money, a lot of money, किसी को cash दिया, किसी को online transfer कर दिया, etc. And then I am the yatra manager, है ना, and I made sure that everybody's money is returned even if mine is late. So I told him ठीक है, तुम मेरा बाद में करो, पहले बाकी सबका करो. And then he gave us a check, कि ठीक है, ये मैं आपको चेक दे रहा हूँ एज एन अग्रीमेंट, बट चेक को आप डिपॉजिट मत करना, मैं आपको दूंगा कैश में, आपको अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर करूंगा, यू डोंट डिपॉजिट द चेक बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू पे यू फ्रॉम दिस अकाउंट बिकॉज माय बिजनेस में जो भी है, राइट. So ठीक है, I kept the check and now, right, we are safe, right, because we have the check. And then he is not paying me, so for so long time he did not pay me, 2 months 3 months I am following up, सबका पैसा आ गया, सब किसी का कैश आ गया, किसी का ऑनलाइन आ गया, then he did not pay me. He said अरे मैं पे कर रहा हूँ 30,000 रुपए की बात थी, 30,000 rupees. And then I'm waiting and he says oh मेरी बीवी बीमार हो गई, वो हॉस्पिटल में है, आप थोड़ा मुझे टाइम दो, मैं क्राइसिस में हूँ, ऐसा करते करते बढ़ाता गया टाइमलाइन. And then after some time then he stopped picking my calls, ठीक है. So then now I've called my uncle कि क्या करना है इस केस में. उन्होंने पूछा कि चेक पे क्या डेट लिखा है, मैंने डेट बताया, तो उन्होंने बोला कि यू आर सच ए फुलिश पर्सन, 6 महीने हो गए इस चेक की डेट को निकले हुए, तो नाउ ही इज नॉट लीगली बाउंड टू पे यू, है ना. यू शुड हैव come to me, you should have told me, and I would before 6 months. So he made sure that these 6 months go pass just like that, है ना, कि और मैं अभी बीमार हूँ, ये है वो है. 6 महीने उसने बराबर निकाला, उसके बाद में उसने फोन पिक करना बंद कर दिया. सो आई आस्क्ड हिम कि अभी क्या करना है, 30,000 गए कि क्या है. तो फिर देन कुछ तो गेम खेला हमने एंड देन माय 30,000 केम बैक. बट I asked my uncle कि बट इसमें मेरी क्या गलती है, मतलब I don't know, so can't I appeal in the court? So he told me that the government assumes that you know, you should know. Why don't you know? This is your money, you are living in the state, you should know the law of the land, and because you don't know, that is why we are lawyers and we are making money. Right. So what is right, what is wrong? I mean, if somebody says that I will, a kid, Manas will put hand in the fire, है ना. Lot of times people say कि अरे वो innocent था, उसको नहीं पता था, उसके साथ में ऐसा क्यों होना चाहिए, एक्सीडेंट में लोग क्यों मरने चाहिए, इतना रेप हो गया है किसी का, कुछ हो गया है, राइट. उस लड़की को नहीं पता था कि रात के अंधेरे में वहां पे 4 लड़के असामाजिक तत्व वहां पे होंगे. She was innocent, right? But then whose mistake it is if you are innocent? We should not be innocent in this world. We should know, right? So अगर बच्चा आग में हाथ डालेगा तो आग अपने आप को ठंडा नहीं कर लेगी ना. That is the law of material nature. The nature of the fire is to burn, and it will burn, whether it is an innocent kid या फिर कोई जानबूझ के आत्मदाह कर रहा है, right? Similarly, the scriptural laws, they are very, very strict and very strong, right? If we do something, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It will come back. Now, I did not know that if I kill the chicken, if I kill the goat, if I kill the cow, so much sinful reaction will come to me. I did not know. But then, hey, you are a fool if you don't know. You should know, right? God has given you intelligence. God, you are a human being, you are not an animal. And that is why animals do not incur any paap or punya. They are free from paap or punya. They can do anything. They can kill a child, right? They can break into your house. The cat can come into the house and drink all the milk. उसको चोरी का केस नहीं लगता, है ना? वो जानवर को दफा 302 नहीं लगता, right? But then हमको लगता है because we are expected to know and behave in a certain manner, right? So the onus is on whom? टीचर ने नहीं बताया, माँ बाप ने नहीं बताया, किसी ने नहीं बताया, तो गलती किसकी? गलती उनकी नहीं, गलती हमारी है. I was born in a certain culture, I was born in a certain family, so I have these habits that, whatever. Hare Krishna. So one of my BTech classmate, he was telling कि हमारे यहाँ पे अन्नप्राशन से पहले अल्कोहल प्राशन होता है. बच्चे को चम्मच में लेके अल्कोहल चटाया जाता है ना? So we are coming from that kind of background, but then there is sin involved, है ना? तो शास्त्र कहते हैं कि छोटे बच्चे को, there is some certain age which is given there, I'm not able to recollect it, but for a small kid the sin doesn't go to him. तो बच गए फिर. But sin doesn't go away, sin comes to parents. If the kid, simple example है ना, बच्चे ने स्कूल में खिड़की तोड़ दी, तो क्या होगा? नेक्स्ट डे पेरेंट्स को बुलाया जाएगा, है ना दिव्यांश जी? ये है अपने ऐसा. लास्ट टाइम कब गए थे पापा मम्मा आपके साथ? दिव्यांश ने सबसे पहले बोला हाँ पापा मम्मा को बुलाएंगे, ऐसा होगा तो. शी ऑल्सो नोज दिस, है ना? तो and then they have to pay the fine and तो अच्छा खाली फाइन देने से नहीं होगा, वो जल्दी जल्दी गड्डी सुननी पड़ेगी टीचर्स की. क्या आपने सिखाया, आप क्यों नहीं समझाते हो बच्चों को? ये क्या करेंगे उसमें? अपने बाल नोचेंगे और बच्चे को मुस्कुरा के देखेंगे, वादे बोलेंगे मन में, घर चल तू बताता हूँ. है ना? So the sin has to go somewhere, है ना? So the sin goes to the parents or who is the guardian, है ना? जो so responsibility has to be taken by someone. इसलिए the responsible parents and teachers and leaders, right? That's why we discussed it in the last class also. Guru na sasyat, janani na sasyat, mata na sasyat, na pita sasyat, right? That you don't take these posts unless you are ready to take the responsibilities of your kins, of your dependents, right? When we take to the spiritual path, the guru takes the responsibility of our actions, our behavior, our practice. If we are not practicing properly, then that reaction goes to the guru. If we commit offenses to the Vaishnavas, if we commit offenses to the deities, right? So becoming a guru is is not a prestige thing in this world. So many spiritual paths, they will call thousands of people in the assembly and they will take water in their palm and they will throw the water. आज से तुम सब हमारे शिष्य हो गए. इन गुरुदेव के हजारों शिष्य हैं ऐसे करके, और गुरुदेव जेल में बैठे हैं अभी, right? So it is not so cheap. Guru means to train the disciple. We were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Day before yesterday. हमें report में लिखा ना प्रभुपाद ने. What is the role of the guru? The role of the guru is to train the disciple in the spiritual subject matter and to take responsibility of the disciple, that he goes back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. And is that an easy job to do? No, right? Sometimes we may feel कि हाँ हमारे तो particular गुरुजी हैं, उनका फोटो हम रखते हैं घर में, right? That guru is no more there in the world, right? They have left. Genuine guru हो सकते हैं, but then What is the training we are receiving from them? Are we receiving any training? No. So if you're not receiving any training, what is the change which is going to come in my life? And how am I going to go back home, back to Godhead? There is no plan as such, right? So most of the times, these gurus are chosen out of sentimentalism. क्यों? क्योंकि हाँ वो गुरु किया था किसी ने, तो उनका भजन करते हैं तो बहुत फायदा होता है बिजनेस में, तो वो दुकान में उनका फोटो, घर में उनका फोटो लगा के गाड़ी चल रही है, एक्सटेंडेड सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन, राइट? So becoming a guru is a very, very responsible, heavy thing. And those who are doing Bhakti Shastri, Nectar of Instructions, first shloka, right? It is heavy. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivva vegam, udropastha vegam. Etan vegan yo vishayeta dhira, sarvam abhimam prithvim sasishat. That who can control the urges of the speech, anger, mind, tongue, genitals, belly, that person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Where are such people in today's world? Very few, handful, right? But guru kitne ban ke baithe hain, right? So anyway, when we commit, even after coming to a very authentic, bona fide parampara, our actions, our gurus, not only Diksha Guru, Shiksha Gurus also, they become responsible for our actions. If we do something wrong, just like बच्चे की गलती पे पेरेंट्स को बुलाया जाता है, हमने कोई गलती किया, so our guru is chastised by his seniors or by Krishna that you did not train them properly. Without training, why did you get them to this level? Right? So you have to be very, very careful. Offense on the spiritual path can divert us completely from our goal. Right? Once again, we left the tendency to get glory, to get money, fame, पूजा लाभ प्रतिष्ठा, ये सब से material aspect से बचकर हमको spiritual life में हम आए हैं. Yes, now I want Krishna and nothing else. Now I want to go to spiritual world at the end of my life and nothing else. लेकिन इधर आने के बाद भी काफी बार वो सब टेंडेंसीज हमारे अंदर आ जाते हैं. अरे मुझको मेरा अनाउंसमेंट होना चाहिए संडे फीस्ट में कि मैंने 108 भगवत गीता का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन दिया, मेरा नहीं हुआ तो क्या इनका मैनेजमेंट है, बेकार है. हाँ, 5 बुक वाले का अनाउंस कर रहे हैं, 108 वाले, उनको पता नहीं है कि मैं कौन हूँ. हाँ, और मैंने स्पॉन्सर दी, मैंने कुछ दान दिया है, मेरा ग्लोरिफिकेशन होना चाहिए, 4 लोग में पता होना चाहिए, राइट? वी लेफ्ट दिस ऑल to become serious in the spiritual life, but once again after coming to the spiritual life we get succumbed to these tendencies. These tendencies will not leave us, right? Because these 6 anarthas we are nourishing in our heart, which are lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, है ना? ये 6 अनर्थ हमारा पीछा छोड़ने नहीं वाले हैं. Externals will change, है ना? जीन्स शर्ट की जगह धोती कुर्ता आ जाएगा, तिलक आ जाएगा, कंठी माला भी आ जाएगी, वो सब आएगा. परंतु ये टेंडेंसीज इंटरनली हार्ट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन may take lifetimes, right? And in order to cut those lifetimes, we need to always remain protected from these tendencies by remaining in association of the devotees, right? Because I mean, how many hours we spend in the material world? Calculate. 7 days. 7 days में से हम भक्तों का एसोसिएशन कितना ले रहे हैं? 2 घंटा प्रोग्राम में, और जो संडे फीस्ट में आ रहे हैं, चलो 2 घंटा संडे फीस्ट, बट व्हाट एल्स? उसके अलावा 24 into 7 minus 4 hours is the material interaction. So will not rub on us the materialism. It will not rub on us. It will rub on us. Once again in the office there is competition, there is like backbiting, and there is running for money, वो सब होगा. तो तो आएगा ही ना वो चित्त, हमारी चेतना तो खराब करेगा ही, है ना। तो इसलिए इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ डिवोटी एसोसिएशन एंड टू बी ऑलवेज फाइंड वेज टू बी इन डिवोटी एसोसिएशन, right? So that takes our impurities away. Huh? Okay, so superiors become responsible. And hence we should become responsible superiors to our kins, right? Now to stop sin, once again coming back, to stop sin, what do we need to do? Follow Shastra, to know the rules, to know the law, है ना। इस स्टेट लॉ को भी, अगर मुझे कुछ गलती से भी क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटी नहीं करना है, रेड लाइट था, मैंने क्रॉस कर दिया, मुझे नहीं पता था, मेरे सामने ट्रक जा रहा था, और ऐसा बहुत बार होता है, जेन्युइन केस में होता है, मेरे साथ भी हो चुका है। सामने ट्रक जा रहा है बड़ा, लाल रेड लाइट दिखी ही नहीं, उसके पीछे पीछे हम चल देते हैं, पुलिस वाला हमको पकड़ लेता है। अरे मुझे नहीं दिखा, तो दिखा नहीं तो क्या, बत्ती थोड़ी ग्रीन हो गई तुम्हारे नहीं दिखने से। राइट, वी हैव टू पे द प्राइस। So know the law and follow it diligently is the ask of the scriptures, and that is why when the creation happens, see, any machinery which gets created in this world, a manual is given with it, है ना। बिना मैनुअल के कुछ भी नहीं आता, जबकि मोबाइल फोन का मैनुअल कोई देखता भी नहीं है, कचरे में जाता है सीधा वो, बट फिर भी आता है मैनुअल के साथ में। मैन्युफैक्चरर हैज डन इट्स जॉब, right? Similarly, Krishna, when he creates this world, he gives Vedas. This is the manual of life. He gives Bhagavad Gita, he gives Srimad Bhagavatam, all Vedas, right? Excuse me. तो अभी हमारे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है ना वो पढ़ने की। अगर ढंग से मैनुअल नहीं पढ़ेंगे तो मशीन हम खराब कर सकते हैं, है ना। Okay, so now Arjuna, when he is in this state, when he is discussing with Shri Krishna Balram भगवान की जय, तो when he is saying to Krishna कि पापम में आश्रयेद अस्मान, कि हम, this is sinful to kill our the other party, which includes our relatives also, seniors also, ये तो sinful है। तो he is confusing the sin or religion with ordinary material laws of this world. कैसे? अभी मारना तो शास्त्र में बताते हैं कि मारना नहीं चाहिए, राइट। बट द सिन का और सटल डेफिनेशन है डिसओबीडियंस विद गॉड, है ना। भगवान के आदेश का पालन नहीं करना इज सिन। शास्त्र कहां से आए हैं? भगवान ने दिए हैं, तो शास्त्रों को फॉलो नहीं करना वो पाप है ना। परंतु भगवान स्वयं उनके सामने खड़े हैं अभी, एंड ही इज सेइंग फाइट। नाउ refusing to fight is also a sin, right? So he is confused with morality abhi. Now in the time of Pandavas, state law was same as scripture law, वो अलग अलग नहीं था। Scripture's law was followed by the monarchy, right? So अभी ये moral values के ऊपर उसका अटक गया है कांटा अर्जुन का, कि इट्स नॉट राइट, है ना, और हमसे पाप हो सकता है। Now, and because Krishna is there, he has to follow Krishna, because not following Krishna is another sin, है ना। For example, we had discussed this, Yudhishthira Maharaj. It was decided, Dronacharya was fighting very fiercely in the battle one day, है ना, and then Krishna decided कि ये न कहने प्रकार है ना, द्रोणाचार्य को हमको हटाना पड़ेगा। So Krishna asked Pandavas, now let us tell a lie to Dronacharya that his son is no, because he was too attached with his son, and he was siding with Kauravas because his son was best friend of Duryodhana, and so son udhar hai, so he doesn't want to fight from the other party, so he was fighting from that party, right? So झूठ बोलना तो पांडवों मतलब Pandavas were all very moral, right? And Yudhishthira Maharaj, when Bhimsen heard it, he was very happy. Yes, let's do it. He doesn't have any doubt. And by that time, Abhimanyu was already killed. And Abhimanyu को मारने का plot किसने किया था? ये द्रोणाचार्य ने किया था. So he has also not followed the code of the Shastras and the war properly. है ना? So Krishna is clear. अधर्मिक को मारने के लिए धर्म को फॉलो करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, है ना? Actually, Mahabharata describes that on that day, Dronacharya saw very celestial beings and sages coming from Janaloka and Taploka, and they were chastising Dronacharya that you are fighting a wrong war, and you got these celestial weapons with you, and you are using them on humans. That was not the purpose of these weapons, है ना? और तो ऐसे करके उनको बहुत चेस्टाइज कर रहे थे वो. नाउ everybody cannot see them because these are like, you know, higher planet beings. Their bodies are not made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. I mean, not all the 5 elements. Their bodies are made up of some elements out of these 5. So earth element may not be there. Only water, fire, ये combination हो सकता है, right? For example, Lord Brahma. So we are made up of 5 elements plus 3 more elements, right? Mind, intelligence, false ego. है ना? Remember Devayas, right? Bhinna Prakriti Ashtadha, 8 elements of material nature we are made up of, and this planet is also made up of. ये 14 भुवन जो हैं, 3 लोक, ये इन्हीं 8 एलिमेंट से बने हुए हैं सब कुछ. अर्थ, वाटर, फायर, एयर, ईथर, माइंड, इंटेलिजेंस, फॉल्स ईगो. Now Brahmaji's body is made up of intelligence only. He doesn't have these 5 elements at all. He doesn't have mind also. Intelligence. Right? So celestial beings, इसलिए कोई कहता ना, अरे हम मून पे चले गए, हेवन तो नहीं दिखा वहां पे, मून को हेवनली प्लैनेट बोलते हैं, but we will not be able to see from our eyes because our eyes are made up of 5 elements. तो अगर एक भी एलिमेंट उधर कम है तो नहीं दिखेगा हमको. Right? And what to say of moon? We can't see inside the water. वो तो इसी पृथ्वी में, उसके लिए भी हमको ये सब पहन के, कॉस्ट्यूम डाल के और कुछ तो सबमरीन में जाना पड़ता है. Then we see that there is another world here. बाहर से कोई बोलेगा कुछ भी नहीं है, पानी के नीचे किधर लाइफ है, तो बोलते रहो, उससे कुछ फर्क थोड़ी पड़ता है, राइट? तो सिमिलरली मून एंड अदर हायर प्लैनेट्स, स्पेसशिप जा रहा है स्काई में, देयर आर नो अदर प्लैनेट, देयर इज नो स्वर्गलोका, ये सब माइथोलॉजी है, ये सब बकवास है. दैट्स व्हाट साइंटिस्ट्स टेल. So these sages beings came from the celestial planets. They were not visible to anyone, but they were visible to Dronacharya because he has spiritual energy, he has spiritual power, potency, Dronacharya. And they were chastising, so he was already disturbed. कह रहे सही में गलत तो मैं कर रहा हूँ. This dilemma comes when superiors chastise you. तो ये सब चल रहा था already उस दिन. This Mahabharata describes it. And then what did Bhima do? Bhima killed an elephant whose name was Ashwathama. उसको मार दिया और द्रोणाचार्य के सामने आके जोर जोर चिल्ला रहे हैं, अश्वत्थामा मर गया, अश्वत्थामा मारा गया, right? And then he became more disturbed because Dronacharya was too attached to Ashwathama. So then he thinks कि भाई क्या करूं मैं, पूछता हूं किसी को, हो सकता है भीमसेन पे भरोसा नहीं है, युधिष्ठिर को पूछता हूं. युधिष्ठिर को पूछा, युधिष्ठिर ने बोला तो सत्य है ना? And then युधिष्ठिर को पूछा द्रोणाचार्य ने. युधिष्ठिर महाराज says, and by the time this meeting has happened with Krishna, right, he says Ashwathama is dead. Ashwathama, he says Ashwathama the elephant. Now the elephant, he speaks very, in a very low tone. He says Ashwathama the elephant is dead. But when Krishna asked him to lie, he hesitated. Yudhishthira Maharaj hesitated. He did not want to lie. Dharmaraj hai wo. He has not done any bad act whatsoever in his entire life. So, and then suddenly Yudhishthira Maharaj's chariot was always above the ground, a few centimeters. It is said that 2 inches. हमेशा 2 इंच ऊपर चलता था उनका रथ धरती से. जैसे उन्होंने ये बोला तो रथ नीचे आ गया. But apparently he did not tell a lie, na? Ashwathama the elephant इज डेड, वैसे वो झूठ नहीं हुआ, परंतु झूठ को इस तरह से बोलना कि वो सच लगे, वो भी झूठ ही कहलाता है शास्त्रों के अनुसार। या फिर सत्य को नहीं बताना, छुपाना इज ऑल्सो कंसिडर्ड झूठ, है ना। सो मेनी people who are not connected to the parampara, they say that because Yudhishthira Maharaj told a lie in the battlefield of the Kurukshetra, his chariot touched the ground that day. But that is not the understanding of the Acharyas. Acharyas say that because he hesitated to tell a lie on Krishna's instruction, his chariot touched the ground. He should not have hesitated, क्योंकि कृष्ण ने बोला है। Who is Krishna? Krishna is the father of dharma. धर्मम तो साक्षात भगवत प्रणीतम, श्रीमद् भागवतम says. धर्म क्या है? जो कृष्ण ने बोला वही धर्म है, उसके अलावा और कोई व्याख्या नहीं है धर्म की। जो शास्त्रों में दिया है, यदि कृष्ण ने उसके अगेंस्ट बोला है तो कृष्ण ने जो बोला है वही धर्म है, भी शास्त्र गलत हो गए। राइट, दैट इज हाउ इट हैज टू बी अंडरस्टूड। हेंस अर्जुना, even if he is hesitating on the pretext of scriptural knowledge, still he needs to follow the instruction of Krishna. Right? Now, 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the demoniac and the divine qualities. आसुरिक और दैवीय गुण, है ना, भगवद गीता पूरा अध्याय है उसके लिए। तो क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसा इफ यू रीड दैट चैप्टर, बहुत इजीली हम समझ सकते हैं हमको हमारा लाइफ कैसा जीना चाहिए, स्वभाव कैसा होना चाहिए। राइट, कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड वे में डाल दिया है वहां पे, ऐसा एक बिल्कुल कैप्सूल के जैसा इस एक चैप्टर के अंदर कृष्णा ने। So with that understanding, if we read that chapter, we understand that Arjuna has all the qualities of devata only, है ना। तुम्हें क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है उसको अच्छे से पता है, he has these divine qualities, परंतु अभी यहाँ पर he is acting like just like a foolish person in this world, because Supreme Person of Godhead, the father of the dharma, Krishna is sitting in front of him and he is telling him what is a sin or what not. ठीक है। Now there is one peculiar point to be understood from this entire episode. Is it easy to become a follower or a leader? Tell me, what is easy? To become a follower or to become a leader? To become a follower is very easy, right? क्योंकि जो फॉलो हम कर रहे हैं, लीडर ने बताया इंस्ट्रक्शन, नाउ लीडर हैज टू थिंक, आगे पीछे दाएं बाएं, 100 साल बाद उसका क्या इंपैक्ट होगा, आज क्या इंपैक्ट होगा, यश बढ़ेगा, कीर्ति बढ़ेगी या नुकसान होगा, राइट। एंड दैट इज व्हाई कृष्णा इज द सुप्रीम लीडर, नोबडी कैन मैच हिम, है ना। एंड दैट इज व्हाई लीडर्स इन द स्क्रिप्चर, इन द सोसाइटी विल ऑलवेज बी इन लेसर क्वांटिटी, because at risk analysis many people cannot do, है ना। So that is how this varnashram system is created, pyramid system, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. The risk of the mistake of the decision does not lie on the kids, it lies on the parents. कौन से स्कूल में डालना है, घूमने किधर जाना है, क्या खाना है क्या नहीं खाना है, और रिस्क किसके ऊपर है, because the parents are the leaders, teachers are the leaders, right? Similarly in the society there are leaders, है ना। Everybody cannot become leader. Now in the Kali Yuga everybody wants to become leader, everybody has something to say. Now people who watch cricket, they can teach Sachin Tendulkar also, ये देखो गलत खेला, मेरे को पता था ये आउट होने वाला है, ये हो गया। इस अरे कभी पकड़ा है बैट तुमने हाथ में? कितनी बार तुम साथ में क्रिकेट खेलते हो, एंड हम सचिन तेंदुलकर को भी समझाने चले। वैसे ही इस समाज में बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे भी हैं जो कृष्ण के ऊपर भी लांछन लगाते हैं कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था, ये गलत किया, है ना। बट देन इट इज ऑलवेज इजी टू पुट अ क्वेश्चन टू पॉइंट आउट मिस्टेक्स इन अ रेट्रोस्पेक्ट। लेकिन जब डिसीजन लेना है तब हु टेक्स द डिसीजन? In offices, also corporate, also we see that, right? Today, आजकल ये agile methodology and whatnot. In the trainings also, it is told that everybody is a leader. ये कलयुग है. Everybody is a leader. You know what decisions to take, and take the charge and this and that. However, when everybody becomes a leader, the society cannot function. So naturally, those who are leaders are called brahmanas. They should be brahmanas actually. है ना? The brahmanas lead because they have the knowledge of the scriptures. They know the code. They know the repercussions. They lead. They give direction to the kshatriyas. Kshatriyas govern. They put the policies. They implement the policies. Right? And then Vaishyas help the society go on in with money. And then there are followers. They are pure followers. They are called Shudras. Now, Shudra is not a derogatory term actually. ऐसा कोई नीचा शब्द नहीं है ये, परंतु आज के समाज में इसको नीचा बना दिया है. It means followers. Now, whatever my superiors tell me, I follow them because मेरे से नहीं होता है रिस्क एनालिसिस. कुछ गलती हो जाए तो मुझे मत बोलना. हम बोलते हैं ना, ऑफिस में भी बोलते हैं ना, करूं कि नहीं करूं बता दो, फिर ऐसा हो सकता है, ऐसा हो सकता है, मुझे मत बोलना बाद में. हाँ, so we are taking the role of a follower, a shudra, and somebody else is deciding for us कि ठीक है हम देखेंगे, तुम लो ये रिस्क लो, ठीक है, we will cover you. So it is easy to become a follower. Now we become perfect followers when we follow the laws of God, right? That kind of follower we have to become. Instruction of God, law of God. If we do that, we become very happy and satisfied. क्यों? क्योंकि वो reaction मुझे नहीं आने वाला अभी. If something goes wrong also, that reaction doesn't come to me because I'm following somebody. Now that leader is going to take the whatever reaction it comes out. ठीक है? And hopefully if he or she is a good leader, they will absorb that reaction. है ना? So earlier kings were called Raj Rishis. They were not Raja. They were Raj Rishis. They were saintly kings. The saintly kings took care of their citizens like their own children. And they were there to absorb the reaction. Whatever happens, the reaction will not come to the children, right? In the Krishna book, if you've read, श्रीमद् भागवतम में कृष्ण लीला में ये आता है एक episode that a Brahmana, when Brahmana's sons keep on dying one after another. And this Brahmana actually is fed up after 10-12 बच्चे उनके चले गए. उसके बाद में वो जाके द्वारका में he actually appeals to the king. How is it happening in your kingdom? So much, such things are happening that I am losing all of my kids. What have I done? Is it a karmic reaction or is it something you tell me? Otherwise, please recover my kids. है ना? So Krishna goes personally to Yamlok, with Arjuna, of course. Krishna and Arjuna can never be separated. है ना? तो Krishna goes कि नहीं ये गलत हो रहा है, मैं लेके आता हूं तुम्हारे बच्चे. That is a king, Raj Rishi. We also have, now this pastime comes in the scripture, right? Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj Shibi, an eagle came to him and he was following a pigeon. वो कबूतर ने क्या किया, महाराज की शरण में आ गया कि now my life is under your shelter, you please protect me. Shibi says, I will protect you. What is the big deal? I'm protecting so many people. I'll protect you also. You be here. And the eagle came. And then the eagle asked for food. If you are giving protection to this pigeon, what about me? I'm also your citizen. You protect me also. So I need food. And I only eat flesh. And that also fresh flesh. So Maharaj Shibi actually cuts flesh from his own body and feeds the eagle. That's the leader. Citizen से ठीक है, अभी ये कबूतर तो बचा लिया है, इसको वचन दे दिया है, तो कोई घोड़ा मार दो, कोई दूसरा कबूतर मार दो. ऐसा नहीं, I cannot kill anyone in my kingdom, right? So I will better I give my own flesh. Those were the kings. That is Bharat. That is Bharat. That is our society. It's not like Jesus was preaching in the Western world, and the king thought that he's becoming more popular than me. Now Jesus is a spiritual master. He's a guru. Huh? So they punish the guru only and hang him to death. एक वो society है. And this is our culture, our society. Kings like this have come. है ना? And now they are teaching us what is right, what is wrong. They are teaching, देखो कितना कास्ट सिस्टम है तुम्हारे यहाँ पे, कितना खराब है भारत, है ना, कितनी गलत गलत प्रथाएं हैं तुम्हारे यहाँ पे, so many rituals and you put milk on the stone and you waste so much food, है ना, अग्नि में डाल देते हो, धुआं निकलता है, इतना pollution होता है, so many rubbish things they are telling. But you would understand कि ये culture किधर से आ रहा है ना, because the kings, because the brahmanas who are very good followers of the dharma, of the scriptures, they were governing the society. Hence the society had such kings and such citizens who can sacrifice their lives also for kings. The society which can make a bridge over the sea also. So it is all mutual. Everybody has to function in their own capacity of becoming good followers in the society. The society doesn't need many leaders. It needs only few leaders who are, dharma parayana and followers, true followers who can follow those leaders. But now the leaders are not also not there, and the followers also not there. Followers will follow the leader till the time there are monetary benefits, and then they will change the party. इधर से टिकट नहीं मिल रहा है तो उस पार्टी में चले जाते हैं. वो इस पार्टी को गाली निकाल रहे थे पहले और बाद में इधर आ जाते हैं, है ना, ये सब चल रहा है. So if we follow God's laws, we become truly happy and satisfied because the reaction doesn't come to us at all, and we don't have to start inventing our own ways of becoming happy. I mean, should we bomb Afghanistan or not? Everybody cannot decide. है ना, everybody becomes a leader, everybody decides, तो कुछ होगा. Should we go to Maldives or Lakshadweep? ये एक नया ट्रेंड चल रहा है ना. So the God is absolute morality, right? If God is stealing butter also, he remains God, and whatever is doing is correct, right? If God is dancing with 16,108 damsels, he still remains God, and that is correct. We cannot question him. And when the God is giving his instruction, his like choicest instruction in the form of Bhagavad Gita in the Kurukshetra, he's that same God, right? His position doesn't come down because he does certain acts, right? Okay, so Arjuna is mistaking, confusing with the moral, between the morality of this world and what Krishna wants to convey to him, what Krishna's instruction is. So now let us get into the purport, first paragraph, to describe how Prabhupada explains that even on the moral grounds, if Arjuna is killing these people, Kauravas, it is still not sin. Okay, so that will get clear in the purport. Okay, and before that, see, just one more thing. See, Swajanam hi katham hatva sukhinah syama madhava. So Arjuna is calling here Krishna as Madhava. What is the meaning of Madhav? Look into your word-to-word meanings. Lakshmi Pati. In English, what is the meaning? Husband of the god of the fortune. अभी ऐसा क्यों लिखा है प्रभुपाद ने? Prabhupada could have written na Lakshmi, the husband of Lakshmi. Prabhupada could have written here. Why has he written this? Husband of the goddess of the fortune. Anybody? Gyanand Prabhu is thinking very hard. दोनों हाथ सर पे लगा के. Yes, bro.
Does he feel कि कुछ misfortune आ जाएगा because of sinful reaction?
हाँ.
Or maybe that's the quality which you are.
That is Arjuna's reason of calling Krishna Madhava. But I'm asking why Prabhupada could have translated this word as husband of Mother Lakshmi. But he did not do that. He said husband of the goddess of fortune. It's a very simple reason. You just think as a it's a very practical reason. Where is Prabhupada preaching right now? I mean, at this time. Huh? Western world. Prabhupada is preaching in the Western world. Who knows Mother Lakshmi in the Western world? Nobody knows. So if he writes husband of Lakshmi, the point will not, I mean, it will not register in their mind. So kya? मतलब, so what? Madhav बोल दिया, the husband of Lakshmi बोल दिया, तो क्या बड़ी बात होगी? Husband of the goddess of fortune, right? That means goddess of fortune hai. She gives all your wealth and good fortune and auspiciousness and everything, and Krishna is her husband. That means all of these things belongs to Krishna. Now, why Arjuna is calling him Madhava is because, see, if I kill so many people and papam evashrayam hatman, पाप आएगा तो पाप से क्या आता है फिर? मिसफॉर्चून आता है. The pap gives you, sinful reactions give you misfortune, and Krishna, you are the husband of the goddess of fortune. How is it that you are asking me to do this thing? It is so contradictory what you are telling me to do. Right? ठीक है, समझ में आया ना? So Prabhupada wants to make this point clear कि fortune misfortune के बीच में contradiction है, इसलिए प्रभुपाद ने लिखा है husband of the goddess of fortune. नहीं, प्रभुपाद है आचार्य. He is not a translator. है ना? एक एक शब्द का चयन जो है प्रभुपाद ने बहुत सोच समझ कर किया है. This commentary which has come out of a lot of hard work and sleepless nights of an acharya. ठीक है? So Madhava, that's why Arjuna is calling Krishna as Madhava in this verse, right? So many names Arjuna has used for Krishna in the previous verses also. Janardana, last mein tha na, Janardana, and Madhusudana, Govinda, Rishikesh. सबका particular reason है ना? Arjuna is putting a point across in each of these names, and that only acharyas can explain. Okay, somebody please read the purport.
According to Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kinds of aggression.
Yeah.
A poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapon, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite difficult in any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in this administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Rama. But Lord Ram never showed any poverty. Ravan was an aggressor against Ram because Ravan kidnapped Ram's wife, Sita. But Lord Ram gave him sufficient lessons, unparalleled in the history of the world.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So let's cover this part. So 6 types of aggressors are mentioned here in the purport. Aggressors in Hindi means आताताई, है ना? संस्कृत में वही है ना? पापमेवाश्रयेत् दस्मान हत्वय हत्वयन हत्वैतान आतातायिनः, है ना? तो हत्वा by killing etan all these आतातायिनः aggressors. So this is Vashishta Smriti. In the scriptures this Vashishta Smriti comes. वो वशिष्ठ स्मृति में ये 6 तरह के आतताइयों के बारे में बताया गया, डॉक्यूमेंट किया गया है। ये 6 तरह के लोग होते हैं जो क्रिमिनल होते हैं, आतताई होते हैं, और उनको तुरंत मार देना चाहिए। उनको मार देना समाज के भले के लिए होता है, उसका पाप नहीं लगता मारने वाले को। ठीक है? सो व्हाट आर द 6 टाइप्स? द वन हु गिव्स पॉइजन टू अदर्स। सो ये कौरव ये कैटेगरी में फिट होते हैं क्या? कैसे? They gave poison to Bhimsen. Actually, again Mahabharata describes that Bhimsen was very strong in his childhood also, right? तो ये जब लोग साथ में खेलते थे तो भीमसेन उनको उठा उठा के पटक देते सब 100 भाइयों को, कौरवों को। तो उनको बहुत खुन्नस आता था, अरे एक बार भी इनको कभी हरा नहीं पाए, एक बार भी हरा नहीं पा रहे, है ना? एंड देन these Kauravas actually expressed their frustration to Shakuni Mama. And then Shakuni Mama advised them, इसको जहर दे दो। क्यों? Because Shakuni had his own frustrations, है ना? That his sister got married to a blind king. Actually, when the proposal had come, they thought that Gandhari's kingdom, the home, they thought that the Gandhari will get married to Pandu, Maharaj Pandu. But ऐसा नहीं हुआ। मैरिज हो गई किनके साथ में? धृतराष्ट्र के साथ में, and he is blind. And then whatever happened, right? Gandhari decided that she will also remain as blind person and whatnot. But Shakuni took it to heart. And then, he kind of wanted, bad for all these people. So and actually, Bhishma Dev, he had his frustration on Bhishma Dev because Bhishma Dev actually got them married, right? Now, Bhishma Dev is very loving towards Pandavas. So if something happens to the Pandavas, then Bhishma Dev को खराब लगेगा, तो उसको बहुत सुख मिलेगा शकुनी को. So this is the entire equation, right? That is how it started. तो उन्होंने बोला उसको पॉइजन खिला दो. ना भीमसेन इतने शक्तिशाली थे पहले से ही, और उनका इतना जठराग्नि जो डाइजेस्टिव पावर है वो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग था, तो थोड़े बहुत जहर से भी उनका कुछ नहीं हुआ. एक्चुअली दे फेड हिम लोड्स ऑफ पॉइजन इन द जो फूड के साथ में, और दिन भर में उनको असर ही नहीं हुआ विष्णुदेव को, भीमसेन को. रात होते होते देन भीम, एंड दिस वाज हैपनिंग ऑन द बैंक्स ऑफ द गैंजेस. ओके, तो गंगा के तट पर ये लोग खेल रहे थे, खेलते खेलते आओ, और बहुत प्रेम से सडनली दुर्योधन हैड बिकम वेरी लविंग टुवर्ड्स भीमसेन कि ठीक है चलो अभी थक गए होंगे, चलो प्रसाद लेते हैं, और पूरा खूब जहर खिलाया, ये मर ही नहीं रहा है. उसके बाद सब लोग चले गए अपने अपने घर. And then in the evening, Bhimsen starts feeling dizzy, and then he just lies down नदी के किनारे पे, and he actually falls down in the river, and he's unconscious. तो वो डूबते डूबते नदी के बिल्कुल नीचे चले गए. And then there are undercurrents in the rivers also, right? And there are in the sea and in the rivers also there are undercurrents. तो undercurrents के बहाव के साथ में somewhere with some secret passage he reached the नागलोक. गंगा के नीचे से निकलते निकलते अनकॉन्शियस स्टेट में, वहां पे because a human has entered, the snakes became afraid of him, and when the snakes are afraid, what do? They bite. So the snakes bit Bhimsen. Now Ayurveda, one kind of poison is cut from another kind of poison, है ना? ये आयुर्वेद का सिद्धांत है. तो they were opposite poisons, जो खिलाया वो और जो स्नेक्स का पॉइजन था वो, because they were opposite nature poisons, they cancelled each other. तो वो स्नेक्स का भी उसका नुकसान नहीं हुआ और पहले वाला पॉइजन क्योर हो गया. And suddenly Bhimsen comes to life, and then he realized अरे मैं किधर हूँ, and so many snakes around, he starts killing these snakes. तो फिर ऐसा डर डर के these snakes reach to Vasuki. Vasuki is the king of the snakes. That was his kingdom. Then Vasuki's friend, one close friend, his name was Arka. So this Arka is actually he's very good friend of Vasuki, and he is actually great grandfather of Kunti, and he has lived with Kunti's basically parentage on earth also for quite some time, and he recognizes Bhimsen कि ये तो भीमसेन है, ये तो अपना बच्चा है. तो बाद में उसको अच्छे से रिसीव करते हैं, और उसको रिसीव करने के बाद में उसको ये पिलाते हैं. फिर देन दे गिव हिम अ पर्टिकुलर नेक्टर व्हिच इज अवेलेबल ओनली इन द नागलोक एज अ गिफ्ट. तुम आए हो. अपना पोता हो गया ना, ऐसे पोतों के ऊपर विशेष लाड होता है दादाओं का. तो उसको खूब वहां पर आवभगत होती है, खूब उसको खिलाते पिलाते हैं, उसको नेक्टर जूस पिलाते हैं. महाभारत डिस्क्राइब करते हैं जूस इज आल्सो सो मच ह्यूज क्वांटिटी, और वो क्वांटिटी को ये भीमसेन मतलब उनको ऐसा एक अगर मग दिया है तो दिस वन मग इज लाइक नथिंग फॉर भीमसेन. आणि और so he drank a lot of that nectarian juice that day, and from that juice actually he gained the power of 10,000 elephants. Before that he was very strong, but he did not have the power of 10,000 elephants. From this nectar he got it. And then after he's sumptuously fed and satisfied, then they take him कि ठीक है अभी सब लोग परेशान हो रहे होंगे तुम्हारे घर वाले, you should go home now. So उनको पूरा वो रास्ते से निकाल के they leave him. And when he comes back, then everybody is in shock. And Pandavas are happy, but the Kauravas are in shock. ये इधर से ही बच गया. So that is the entire story of Bhima getting poisoned. Okay, poison giver. And it is. The class will turn into a poison very soon after 12. So let's finish it in time. Okay, second. One who sets fire to the house. Are Kauravas guilty of this act? Yes, they tried to burn Pandavas alive. So they are aggressors in this way also. Third is one who attacks with deadly weapons. Many a times they attacked Pandavas. One who plunders riches. किसी का धन लूट लेना, ये भी किया था उन्होंने गैम्बलिंग मैच में, है ना. ओके. फिफ्थ इज वन हु ऑक्यूपाइज अनदर्स लैंड. ये तो कर ही रहे हैं तब से. द एंटायर किंगडम वांटेड पांडवास, स्पेशली युधिष्ठिर महाराज, to take control of the reins, to take control of the kingdom, but these Kauravas did not leave the kingdom, right? At one time, when of course all these Pandavas and Kauravas had grown up, their the kingdom's love towards these Pandavas was increasing day by day because of their acts and because of their following the dharma and giving protection. So virtuous qualities, all divine qualities they had. So उनका प्रेम बढ़ता जा रहा था. So suddenly these Duryodhan and party, but Pandavas were not in they were not the kings, right, at that time. Dhritarashtra was still holding the राजगद्दी. तो एक्चुअली बहुत अनरेस्ट भी हो रहा था लोगों में कि see, Dhritarashtra is only the interim king. He was not a permanent king. He was only the king as a guardian until the next king, the prince comes as a king, right? And at that time ये सब छोटे छोटे बच्चे थे. तो अब वो प्रजा पूरी प्रतीक्षा कर रही है कि कब ये धृतराष्ट्र गद्दी से उतरेंगे और कब युधिष्ठिर महाराज बनेंगे, है ना. And suddenly Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they become very generous towards the kingdom. They started giving them gifts and blankets and grains for free and reduce the taxes. Ministers go be they are keeping very happy so that they don't start any unrest among them. तो ये सब उन्होंने चालू किया ऐसा करना, just so that there is no basically there is no pressure from the citizens. Okay, one who occupies another's land. And then 6, Last is one who kidnaps somebody's wife. ये किया गया, ये भी किया कौरवों ने. तो कौरव हर तरह का उन्होंने गलत कृत्य किया है, हर प्रकार से बात बताई है. एक्चुअली इनमें से कोई एक भी किया हो तो भी वो हत्या कर देना उनका पाप नहीं है. इन्होंने तो 6 आइटम, उन्होंने 6 ऐसे कृत्य किए हैं. So therefore, killing them is not sin. There is no sin incurred by killing such aggressors. परंतु अब अर्जुन उनको क्यों छोड़ना चाहते हैं? Because Arjuna has saintly qualities. You notice that even after winning the kingdom, after the Mahabharata war, Pandavas did not rule the kingdom for a long time. Very less time they ruled, and then they handed this over to the Parikshit Maharaj, and then they went for exile. They did not have any attachment to the kingdom at all. शुरू से ही वो तो, and they were happy with 5 villages also ना. वो भी शांति प्रस्ताव लेके गए थे कृष्ण कौरवों के पास में कि ठीक है 5 ही गांव दे दो, राइट. कहीं तो एक उनको रूल करने दो, बिकॉज यू नो दैट वे एटलीस्ट कोई युद्ध नहीं होगा, तुम्हारी जनता भी सुखी रहेगी और जिनको जो एक पार्ट मिल जाएगा उनको. So they were, Pandavas were not attached. They did not want the war, but the war was invited by the Kauravas, right? So Arjuna is displaying his saintly qualities here, that I don't want, if the kingdom is coming on the dead bodies of the relatives and all these people who are against us, I don't want such kingdom. I renounce it. So देखो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट लिखे प्रभुपाद ने यहाँ पे प्रपोर्ट में. Although a responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, साधु के गुण होने चाहिए एक राजा में जो भी रूल कर रहा है उसमें, but he should not be cowardly. कायर नहीं होना चाहिए एटलीस्ट, है ना. तो जैसे गांधी जी बोलते हैं यदि किसी ने एक थप्पड़ मारा तो दूसरा थप्पड़ भी खा लो. तो I mean that is actually cowardly from the scriptural point of view, right? You forgive him, it is one thing, right? But then somebody should not take due advantage, है ना, of तीसरे का नहीं बताया था. So you should not be cowardly. तो अगर हम अपने सामने कोई बड़ा व्यक्ति देखें तो बोलें ठीक है चल मैं तुझे माफ करता हूं क्योंकि मैं तुझे लड़ नहीं सकता, है ना. So Lord Ram है, Lord Ram का एग्जांपल दिया है. उनके साथ भी यही रावण ने किया था, right? He kidnapped, and Lord Ram, Prabhupada says, Lord Ram gave him sufficient lessons. Okay. ठीक है, so let us read this purport fully and then we can end the session. Somebody else can read Mataji's side.
In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressor, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than kill his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds for religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. So once should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsmen?
Yeah, see, Arjuna understands this. Ye kingdom, the body is temporary. This kingdom is temporary. I am not the body, I am soul. ये सब ज्ञान है अर्जुन को. वो उस ज्ञान के साथ में एनालिसिस कर रहा है कि ये छोटे से किंगडम और यहाँ की लाइफ के लिए जो मृत्यु तक जो भी समय होगा टेम्पररी तो है ना. तो इसको पाने के लिए मैं पाप करूं और फिर मेरा जो फिर मैं नरक में जाऊं, इससे अच्छा मैं यहीं पे छोड़ देता हूं इसको. सी दैट काइंड ऑफ एनालिसिस इज डूइंग. व्हाई शुड आई रिस्क हिज लाइफ एंड इटर्नल साल्वेशन बाय killing his own kinsman, है ना. स्वर्गलोक मेरा जाएगा, eternal salvation मेरा, मुझे तो भगवान के घर जाना है, भगवत धाम जाना है, लेकिन अगर ये कृत्य करूंगा तो फिर रिएक्शन के लिए फिर से आना पड़ेगा इस संसार में, right? Okay, yes, somebody else, last paragraph.
Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhav or the husband of goddess of fortune is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as the husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not induce Krishna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees.
Can Krishna bring misfortune to anyone? Not at all. हाँ, तो ये प्रपट में आप एक peculiar देखेंगे प्रभुपाद का कि he is playing from both sides. He is saying, एक बार बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं मार देना उचित है क्योंकि ये धर्म के विरुद्ध नहीं है उनको मार देना, लेकिन बाद में बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं बट अर्जुन तो सेंटली है, उसको बहुत साधु के गुण है, तो करुणा भी दिखानी चाहिए. So both ways Prabhupada is giving his purport. So that describes his antardvandva which is going on in Arjuna's mind also. And it's not a very, we are going through it as a chapter, है ना, तो हमारे लिए और सिंपल है यार, कृष्ण है उनको फॉलो करना ही चाहिए, बट try to understand as a leader what kind of dilemma Arjun is going through. It is very very stressful because ये एक decision point है, उसके बाद में क्या होगा, there is no coming back, right? What kind of repercussion it will bring. And actually if you study Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, it describes about the scenario after the war. ये war वगैरह जब हुआ उसके बाद में युधिष्ठिर महाराज is weeping, verse after verse he is saying that what a misfortune I have brought to this kingdom, and just because of my greed of a small piece of land, and I killed so many people, and he goes into the kingdom. Now after 60 how many 60 crore kshatriyas, something like that, some number were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. हाँ 60 crore. अभी तो पॉपुलेशन इंडिया का 120 करोड़ है हम बोल रहे हैं, ऐसा कैसे संभव है? ऐसा हुआ है. That is history. You know, we are being fooled by the modern education. Population ज्यादा है और ये है वो है, ऐसा नहीं है, population बहुत था पहले भी. But the governance was so good that it did not matter. So इतने क्षत्रिय जब मरे हैं, आप सोचिए, हमको सिर्फ यही नंबर याद है ना, अभी इसका मतलब क्या है इतने क्षत्रिय मरने का? मतलब उनके पीछे कितनी विधवाएं हैं, कितने बच्चे हैं जो अनाथ हो गए, राइट? युधिष्ठिर महाराज is actually thinking about this in the Srimad Bhagavatam. आप वो वर्सेस देखेंगे और वो continuously is crying, why did I do this? Why did I do this? When he's entering the kingdom, he only sees widows and orphanage or orphan kids. Is it easy to rule such a kingdom? So how much time they would have taken to just rebuild the kingdom again, right? And the Brahmanas come to receive Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas. And then because the king is crying so much, Brahmanas are consoling, no, you have not done anything wrong, you have done the right thing. This was supposed to happen. However, you see, ये सब दिमाग में चल रहा है अर्जुन के इस समय कि ये होने वाला है. Repercussion क्या होता है? Very quickly sometimes we say ना, अरे टेररिस्ट आया उसको मार दो, ये कंट्री को खत्म कर दो, एक बॉम्ब डाल दो, क्या इतना सही तो है? Finish, just wipe it off. ये मैप से ही हटा दो उसका निशान. But then what kind of repercussions? When war comes, the war is avoided at all costs. It was avoided earlier also. And that is why in our culture, in our country, we don't see kings attacking each other just for the sake of land or just to increase their kingdom. That was not the way. जैसे नेपोलियन ने किया या हिटलर ने किया या फिर so many Mughals and Turk and Genghis Khan, right? They used to just attack without any reason. हमारे यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं होता था ऐसा, नहीं, everybody live peacefully. ज्यादा से ज्यादा अगर करना है तो राजसूय यज्ञ करेंगे, अश्वमेध यज्ञ करेंगे, वो एक घोड़ा भेजेंगे जिसको, right? So the one who wants to surrender can surrender, and the one who doesn't want to surrender, then वो उसमें युद्ध होगा. And mostly युद्ध होता ही नहीं. तो ये सब रिपरकशन है वॉर के, इसलिए ये अर्जुन का इतना द्वंद अंतर्द्वंद चल रहा है, क्या नहीं क्यों करना है, ये सब छोड़ देते हैं इससे अच्छा। If only 5 of us, only 5 Pandavas live in the forest, it's not a big deal, right? At least so many families will flourish. उनका तो कुछ नुकसान नहीं होगा. That is a saintly quality which Arjuna is displaying. ठीक है? Thank you very much. Any quick questions? Any concerns? Any feedback?
तो जैसे इसमें ये लगता है कि जिसमें ये 6 क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज है उसका तुरंत वर्क कर देना, तो इट इज ओनली फॉर क्षत्रिय या फॉर ऑर्डिनरी मैन आल्सो विदाउट फॉलोइंग एनी लॉ?
No, generally it is for Kshatriyas only, because Kshatriyas only would lift the weapons and do this kind of judgment, right? I mean, if something like that happens to a Brahmana or a Shudra or a Vaishya, they will typically go to Kshatriyas and say कि ऐसा मेरे साथ हुआ है, अभी आप न्याय दो, है ना? So Kshatriyas का न्याय ऐसा ही होता था.
सेकेंडली जैसे आपने द्रोणाचार्य के एग्जांपल दिया था कि अगर किसी ने अधर्म किया तो उसके साथ अधर्म कर सकते हैं.
Yes.
तो अप टू सम एक्सटेंट हम लोग सोचें कि धर्म किया जाए, क्योंकि ऐसा भी कहते हैं ना कि उसने बुरा किया तो हम क्यों बुरा करें, या तुरंत ही हम लोग इस वे में सोचें कि उसने गलत किया तो we have the liberty to do wrong.
Good question. So we cannot decide it. We need our authorities to decide it. We don't decide. The codes of the scriptures, the code of dharma are complex, and a Shudra is not supposed to decide. Shudra is supposed to ask. We are followers. We follow. Superior authority tells, right? Even see, भारत में भी लॉ तो है ना कि यदि किसी का मर्डर किया तो फांसी होगी, पर वो फांसी कौन देगा? मैं दूंगा? नहीं ना. यदि मेरे परिजन को किसी ने मार दिया तो मैं थोड़ा ना उसको फांसी देके बोल सकता हूँ कि ठीक है अभी हो गया सेटल. नहीं, फांसी एक देने वाला ही देगा, कोर्ट ही डिसाइड करेगा, पुलिस देगा. I cannot take the law in my hand. So these codes are for Kshatriyas. Why Kshatriyas? Because Kshatriyas are in the administration. Who are Kshatriyas? Everyone who is in administration is a Kshatriya. ठीक है? इसमें there is no caste system. What is my occupation and what is my nature? So my occupation is also chosen based on my nature. ठीक है? I have like क्षत्रिय गुण है ना, अन्याय सहन नहीं होता, गुस्सा बहुत आता है, और वीर एक शौर्य है, वीरता है, हाँ, तो उनको इस रोल में रखा जाता है. ऐसा नहीं कि किसी का सरनेम सिंह है तो पुलिस में भर्ती हो गए. नो, not like that. Those who have this kind of nature, so they come into that profession, and then after coming into that profession they can do this, not before that, right? A soldier kills the other army, he gets Paramveer Chakra or whatever, Arjun Chakra or whatever, right? The soldier comes home, बाजू वाले झगड़ा हुआ, उसको मार दिया, अभी कौन सा चक्र मिलेगा? Because he is not the deciding authority at that time. On the border he is, here he is not. So this is not for an ordinary person to decide कि उसको अच्छा अभी ये एक अधर्म मेरे साथ हुआ है तो अभी उसके साथ अधर्म होना चाहिए, उसके साथ होना चाहिए, पर वो अधर्म कौन करेगा? अथॉरिटी करेगी, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन करेगी, not me. And then also we have to focus on the saintly qualities also. So it depends what kind of adharma it is. अगर ये 6 आइटम हुए हैं तो क्लियर अधर्मा है, तो उसको हमको कंप्लेन करना है अथॉरिटी से, उसको वापस रिएक्शन दिलवाना है एंड सो ऑन. परंतु घर में ही झगड़ा हो गया, वाइफ ने बेलन मार दिया, हो जाता है अक्सर होता है, तो अभी उसको थोड़ा ना अधर्म का रिप्लाई अधर्म ऐसा नहीं होता फिर वहां पे, राइट? देयर वी नीड टू से सॉरी है ना, क्योंकि वाइफ ने मारा है तो सही किया होगा. We just need to say sorry and especially say double sorry if the balloon did not hit you. Right, so we don't decide. That was on a lighter note. Please don't get inspired from this. Aggressors means this. छोटा मोटा हुआ है forgive and go ahead. If you can forgive, good. If a person who is doing it has a criminal mentality and you want to put a full stop to it, then complain. Do something about it that it doesn't happen, right? We need to also be intelligent, intelligent enough to protect ourselves, right? अभी फॉरगिवनेस का मतलब ये नहीं है कि मेरा घर खुला छोड़ के मैं चला जाऊं और कोई आए और लैपटॉप उठा के ले जाए एंड देन आई से ठीक है आई फॉरगिव। नो, बट यू शुड लॉक। फिर भी हो गया है, चोरी हो गया है तो कंप्लेन करो, फिगर आउट करो सीसीटीवी में। देयर वी डोंट हैव टू फॉरगिव दैट, राइट?
But many times people think that he's अगर कोई forgive कर रहा है तो ये may be coward होगा और वो continue फिर करते ही रहता है कि ये तो सीधा है, कुछ बोलता नहीं है।
हाँ, that is called bullying. So that bullying has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with. Forgiveness generally happens in the equals or to the juniors. If a junior does something wrong, we don't retaliate with the same intensity, right? Kids can do something wrong to us, they can say something bad to us sometimes out of ignorance, but है ना, कॉर्पोरेट में भी हो सकता है, पीयर्स में कुछ तू में हो सकता है, जूनियर्स के साथ में कुछ हो सकता है। I mean, there what do we do? Forgiveness is the best virtue there, because these fights will go on corporate में तो, है ना? हाँ, but protect our interest in a way that somebody is not able to step over us every now and then. So we keep our cards clear. We don't do any bad to somebody. Somebody does bad to us. We protect ourselves and then just leave it. Forgive. We don't have to retaliate there. So there are situations, you see. घर में अलग situation है, office में अलग situation है, neighbor के साथ में अलग है ना? Sometimes neighbor would put his trash bin in front of our window. There are people who will click photos and they will do a lot of social propaganda, अरे ऐसा क्यों होना चाहिए वगैरह वगैरह। Simple thing is just ring the bell, inform, बात कर लो और छोड़ दो ना। क्यों उसको व्हाट्सएप के पूरे सोसाइटी कम्युनिटी ग्रुप में फोटो डाल के करना चाहिए, राइट? सो देश काल पात्र के अनुसार we need to decide what is it that we need to do, where to forgive, how much to forgive. Abhi that person is doing again and again putting trash bin in front of my gate, even after amicably telling, then there has to be फिर मैनेजमेंट की बात करना पड़ेगा, लॉ को लाना पड़ेगा, कुछ पॉलिसी बनाना पड़ेगा, राइट? But retaliating most of the time doesn't end in a good note. Those fights will become lifelong fights with neighbors, with people we know, in the office also, है ना? Because ऐसा नहीं कि हम लोग बाद में अलग अलग रहने वाले हैं, नहीं, जिससे एक ही साथ रहना है, एक ही साथ काम करना है, सब कुछ करना है ना, तो वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है उससे डील करना बाद में। एवरी टाइम वी सी ईच अदर वी आर फिल्ड विद हेट्रेड, राइट? So at least at those places we should find reasons to forgive in a way that it also doesn't happen to us again and again, right? Okay, any other? Yes, Chandri Prabhu.
Probably इसमें जैसे ये aggression का भी हो गया, and then we also discussed Yudhishthira Maharaj how he was but there is always this question about Sridhar.
Yes.
So as a Kshatriya, obviously उनका तो वो था कि someone calls you for you have to be there. But what was the इतना मजबूरी क्या था कि they put everything on the table?
Yeah, very good question.
Until Raj भी ठीक था कि चलो ऑफ करा, but in the end क्योंकि लोग हमेशा एक क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं and there is nothing to counter.
Yeah, it's actually a very good question. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, right? We should not gamble. I mean, everybody knows it. Even in today's world, people know that we should not gamble. तो ये तो धर्मराज है, ये मना कर देते ना, क्या हो गया? मतलब ललकारा भी है किसी ने, and we have discussed it, right? There is code of scriptures, code of kshatriyas. Code of scriptures, dharma is bigger than, higher than the kshatriyas, yeah, challenging and all, right? Yes, Yudhishthira Maharaj knows this. Actually, what happened was, the real history is, one time Vyasdev had come to their kingdom and they had met the Pandavas. Especially he had a meeting with Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he told Vyasdev can see the future, right? So he tells Yudhishthira Maharaj that in the future you are going to make some decisions, you are going to do something because of which a lot of mayhem is going to happen, a lot of killings are going to happen. Very bad misfortune is going to come to your kingdom. And he's not a king at that time, right? Of course. तो ये बोला उन्होंने, प्रोफेसी दिया था व्यासदेव ने. That led, वो बोल के चले गए व्यासदेव. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking, oh, what is it that I may commit a mistake in future, or although I consult always my superiors, I consult scriptures, and I have so much knowledge of the dharma, but still he knows it that yes, human mind is such a vicious enemy that it can just destroy all the good virtues, and it can take me on the wrong path. My brothers are younger to me, so they will always obey what I say. So he took a vow that day that whatever I do in future, I will always follow my superiors. If my superior, because see, I may go mad in my own, mind, in my own ambitions, I may go mad. My mind may cheat me, but then my superiors are more knowledgeable than me. So if they ask me to do something, I will always do it. I will not disobey them. And that is how this calamity can be avoided. That is a vow Yudhishthira Maharaj. ठीक है, अभी पूरे किंगडम को पता चल गया, कौरवों को पता चल गया, युधिष्ठिर ने ये प्रतिज्ञा लिया है. So then what do? They send a invitation for the gambling match. Now who sends the invitation? Dhritarashtra sends the invitation, not Duryodhana. Because Duryodhana sends, Yudhishthira Maharaj would have said, no, I don't want to gamble. It's not good. Right? But then Duryodhana asked Dhritarashtra to send the gambling invitation. And now Yudhishthira Maharaj in dilemma that what is going to happen if I accept this gambling match? Maybe if I don't accept it, I am going against my superiors, and then that unfortunate day will come when the mayhem, the kingdom will be ruined. So I should follow my superiors. Because Dhritarashtra Maharaj is calling me, I should go and gamble. That is the reason he gambled. Not because he was challenged as a Kshatriya and he could not say no. No, not like that. Right? They were challenged for war so many times, but they said no to war also. तो वो तब कर सकते हैं, gambling वो नहीं कर सकते, ऐसा नहीं था. And then after coming into the gambling match, they are putting their property and everything, and then Draupadi also. So there, Yudhishthira Maharaj and these Pandavas, Krishna, they want to teach a lesson to the society that once you get into this, you lose everything. Your mind stops working. That's a leela. Basically, we have to take it that way. Of course, they knew, है ना, तो मना नहीं कर पाए, क्योंकि मना करने से ये रक्तपात होगा, जानने जाएंगी इतनी, तो नहीं करते. शायद गैम्बलिंग से सुलझ जाएगा मामला. And then gambling happened twice, not once. Once gambling happened, and Draupadi was brought into the assembly, and all this, she was insulted. और उसके बाद में एक्चुअली विदुर जी ने इतना कोसा था इनको, भीष्मदेव ने और कि धृतराष्ट्र को सद्बुद्धि आई, उन्होंने बोला ठीक है ये सब कैंसिल करो, एवरीथिंग इज कैंसिल्ड. Everything was returned back to Pandavas. Yes. And then second time the invitation went from Dhritarashtra, and second time the gambling happened, and in the second gambling match this decision was taken that now they will go on the exile. There was not in the first match. First match में exile की बात नहीं हुई थी, उनका सब कुछ लूट लिया था, छोड़ दिया था उनको ऐसे. But then Dhritarashtra gave them everything back. फिर सेकंड में एक्साइल हुआ, फिर अज्ञातवास हुआ, और वो ऐसा कंडीशन डाला सोच समझ के कि अज्ञातवास में कहाँ जाएंगे, हम ढूंढे लेंगे इनको, पांडवों को कौन नहीं जानता, ढूंढ लेंगे तो वापस ये चालू होगा वनवास. तो ऐसा करते करते उनकी पूरी जीवन ऐसा निकाल देंगे हम. दैट वाज द प्लान. 12 + 12 + 12 फिर कितना आएगा? ऑलरेडी दे वर 150 years old. at the time of the battle of Kurukshetra, they were like approximately 150 years. Arjuna. People used to live that long, na, earlier. Right? तो उसके पहले पहले का गैम्बलिंग मैच का ये बात है. धारा 13 उससे 15 साल पहले मान लो. So there was a plan. ठीक है? So that's the answer. That's it. Now the class has become poison. Let's take the Bhagavad Prasadamrit, Krishna Balram Prasad Amrit. ठीक है? Thank you very much. Srila Srimad Bhagavad Gita की जय. Srila Prabhupada की जय.